we've already said goodbye. Since you gotta go, oh, you had better go now. Go now, go now, go now. For you see me cry. I want you to tell me what you intend to do now. Yeah. How many times do I have to tell you, darling, darling, I'm still in love with you now. Oh, we've already said so long. I don't want to see you go. Oh, you had better go now. Go now, go now, go now. Don't you even try. Telling me that you really don't want to end this way. How many times do I have to tell you, darling, I want you to stay? Yeah, since you gotta go, oh, you had better go now. Go now, go now, go now. Don't you even try. Tell me that you really don't want me to end this way. How many times do I have to tell you, darling, I want you to stay? Yeah, yeah. Yes, oh, Lord, yeah. Well, I don't want to see you go, darling, you'd better go now. Yes, I do. Thank you. Thank you.
Come over here. That was wonderful, Denny. Hello, hello. I loved it 25 years ago, and I love it still. The Moody Blues were always one of my favourite bands. You know, sit there, will you? What do the others think about you re-releasing it like that?
Well, they hate it because they can't play it on stage.
Why's that? You've got
Well,
the
no,
rights.
the Moodies don't do it on stage, do they?
I suppose that's true, actually, yeah. Is it a sort of... Is going back to a big hit like that, is it a kind of pot of gold? I mean, because it can't fail, can it? I mean, that is going to get them a chance, and it's going to make it a
I don't know. I hope so.
Oh, brilliant.
I mean, it's, you know, for me, it's just because people want me to release it, really. A lot of people have asked me about it, so that's all it's down to, and it'll get me sort of back on the road again.
Right,
That's
so that's
the
a
main
big
thing.
comeback for you, because you're making a new album as well.
Does it feel strange singing it again, though? I mean, does it make you feel, you know, like you were in 1964?
Well, I've been singing it for, you know, a long time, so I mean, no, not really.
Yeah.
But I was still nervous up there, you know. I mean, even so.
Oh, I'm sure that
Well,
never
it's
leaves you. Yeah.
Time in the morning.
You have this extraordinary story of sort of, you know, rags to riches, then back down again to rags, and hopefully on your way up to riches. You've had a lot of financial problems, haven't you?
Well, I think all musicians do that. They go up and down, you know. I'm not in it for the money. I mean, he lied, you know. But I mean, I'm not really, and sort of, you don't think about the fact that things cost money, and you just go ahead, and if sometimes, you know, it goes wrong, you just...
You're very bad with money, do you think?
I am, yeah, terrible with it, yeah. If I've got it, I spend it, you know.
We were looking through all the press cuttings, you know, over the last few years, and there were all the pictures that the papers carried, and you, I thought, very bravely outside the bankruptcy court, you know,
smiling away,
empty pockets saying,
what
yeah,
else
broke
can you
again.
do, yeah?
But inside, Denny, you must be feeling, oh God, you know,
Oh,
what,
yeah.
don't you?
Well, yeah, but at the same time, you know, I always think that it's going to come again, you know. I mean, it still doesn't really change your lifestyle, because you're still a musician, you know. And a musician, in a way, it's sort of, it's cool to have no money, because it gets you back there, you know. So.
Yeah. So, but didn't you do some ridiculous things, like you had a Ferrari and you didn't insure it properly?
Oh, I didn't know, that's not true.
Is that true?
Properly,
That's
yeah.
wrong, is it?
But didn't you lose a lot of money? You smashed it up. Well, I knew there was something like that.
Yes.
You lost a lot of money on it, and you had a yacht, and something went wrong with that as well.
Terrible.
It sunk, I think, was what went wrong.
An engine blew up, you know, it's just sort of...
Are you sort of wiser man now? Do you think you'd handle it all differently this time?
No. I don't think.
Yeah, that's a lot of hope for you there, isn't it?
In that case, you need lots and lots of money.
Yeah.
Let's talk about, briefly, let's talk about this business with Paul McCartney at the beginning of the 80s, when Wings went to Japan and everything was going great at the time, and Paul McCartney got busted for carrying marijuana, didn't he?
Yeah.
And that blew apart the tour, didn't it? That was the end of
Well,
that.
yeah.
And you got
I mean,
very cross about it, didn't you?
Not initially, at the time, I didn't. But thinking of the fact that we couldn't work after that, you know, it was...
What, in Japan?
Well, no, anywhere. If you sort of had that happen to you, you've got 2 years before you can go to America. The group, you know, builds up to that point of doing that.
Yes.
And what do you do after that? So basically it would have been sort of going into the studio, the same old thing over and over again. And it would have been, you know, no direction. So I mean, I just sort of went, what we're going to do now, you know, and I drifted away into sort of doing my own thing.
But did you blamed Paul McCartney for that? Did you?
Well,
I mean, you
I
had quite a
didn't, not him
split.
personally, but I was sort of upset with the fact that it was the end of the group virtually. You know? But you know, the fact that the newspapers got over it, and I mean, I think he got busted again, and the newspapers got hold of it, and sort of made it look like I was having a go at him in particular. But I mean, I wouldn't do that. It's not like that. It's just that the press, you know, if I say, oh, Paul's a bit of a... They're going to go, Paul's a bit
Absolutely,
of a...
yes.
So,
yes.
What can you
but
do?
have you sort of made it up? Because, well, I don't know if it's true or not, but the press was saying a couple of years ago that you still weren't talking with Paul McCartney.
Well,
is that all over now, or
well,
you
I
go
haven't
separate ways?
spoken to Paul, mainly because, I mean, you know, the circumstances haven't arisen. I mean, what can I say?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure if, you know, if I met him, it'd be all right. He'd probably call me all the names under the sun, as everybody does, you know, in groups. Groups argue. I mean, Lennon and McCartney fell out for years. It's common knowledge.
Yes,
I mean, one of the many things that had gone wrong for you was the fact that you got divorced and you had a very costly divorce. But things are looking up a bit that way. You've had a baby, haven't you, recently?
Yeah, got a little 2-year-old, yeah. She's lovely. Lucy. Hello, Lucy.
Is she watching?
Is she watching
Hello,
this?
Lucy. Right. And does she, I mean, she stays at home. She's not going to come on tour with you or anything like that?
Well, for the time being, yeah, she stays at home, but obviously, you know, when you get the thing set up and it's more comfortable and the travelling arrangements are all set,
Yeah.
then yes.
And do you still enjoy it? Do you still get the buzz, you know, playing rock and roll on stage?
Oh,
Do you
yeah.
still like that? Is that fun, you know?
Yeah, much more so than the studio. The studio becomes, the bigger you get, the studio becomes the more important, because you've got to, you know, it's like being a comedian, you've got to come up with new jokes all the time to sustain that sort of thing. But the actual fun is playing live, you know, it's that being nervous, really, and trying out new material, sort of seeing what the punter thinks of it.
Listen, tell us something. Didn't you play with Rick Wakeman? Have you played with him in the past?
Oh, yeah.
That's
Yeah,
right.
Rick's a good friend.
Well, that's very interesting, because coming up very shortly, after the break, we'll be meeting Rick Wakeman, because he's going to be telling us even more about the stresses and strains of being in the music business in our Stress series with Professor Carey Cooper. So thanks ever so much, Denny.
Thanks a lot, Denny. Good luck.
And we'll see you
Thank
in a
you.
couple of minutes.
Cheers.
Okay.